Okay, yeah, totally a lot better because I was having a hard time breathing with the other one. Damn. Right now, as I was saying, I watched a video that said you should post YouTube videos anyways, even if people don't watch it. Why? Because, you have a kind of like a backlog of videos that kind of talk about what you felt and how you felt and what you did and why you did it and all of these things that maybe, if you're a person like me who doesn't keep a journal, you wouldn't necessarily remember. So I was like, you know what? Let's do that. Let's actually do that. I've been trying to do this podcast for like years, I think. And last year I was really consistent with it and I was uploading like almost every week. And then life hit me in the face. And I've tried to like jump on that again, but life got really heavy for me last year. My like around the time that I stopped posting, my long-term relationship ended. And that was very difficult for me to, like get over. I had to work a lot to just kind of forget what had happened, and it was very painful. I think by far one of the most painful breakups I've ever had, and it sucked. And definitely don't like the feeling of having to like break up with someone and end a relationship. It's not fun at all. But anyways, that happened, and then I had to get a volunteering thing to graduate university because it was like a requirement for my program, and at first I wasn't able to find anything, and then when I found something, it was really difficult for me to work with them to a point where I had to extend my volunteer service, and that was not fun at all because they weren't cooperative. They didn't help me with the stuff that I had to do, and so it got to a point where I was like, okay, well, I don't know if I'm actually gonna finish this. I needed 150 hours, and the first quarter I only had 50 hours, and then the second quarter I was like 10 hours short, and I really needed another 10 hours. And they're just the director, the marketing assistant, marketing in charge, yeah, and like the other people that were there were not supervising my work. And on top of that, it was just so hard to like talk to them, make sure that they would check the work that I was doing, and it was just really difficult. So anyways, I finished that in December of last year in 2023. I went to go visit my family back in the UAE. I kind of have a very, I don't know, like this time that I went, I had a very conflicting, I don't know, like a conflicting experience because I've always called it my home, and although that's where my childhood is and will always be, I've it didn't feel like home. And yes, my family is there, and yes, my childhood friends are there, and yes, the like vast majority of my life I spent it there. I don't know, it did not feel like I belonged there anymore. And maybe I've outgrown the place, maybe I've outgrown my experiences there and the people there. But that's very like possible. I don't know. It was very conflicting, and I didn't really have like the best time there. Um, then I came back in January. My brother came with me because, he had to do some stuff here. I'm not gonna indulge in like his life or whatever. But he came, and he was living in my studio apartment with me, and it was very uncomfortable because like my studio apartment is really small. Like one day maybe I'll do like an apartment tour or whatever, but like it's really small. To not have my space, to not have peace within the only place that belongs to me was just really difficult. And on top of that, I was doing two courses at uni, which were like the last two courses that I had to do. And on top of that, I was doing my graduation internship. I had to do the internship to graduate. And on top of that, within the internship, I had to do a research project that would count as my graduation project. It was a lot. And I was constantly stressed, constantly anxious, and on top of that, my brother was here, and on top of that, it was Ramzan. So I'm fasting in between all of this, and it was very difficult. It was very difficult, and I don't think I had ever felt so tired. Like, I felt just as tired as I did when I was in high school doing Edexcel board exams. A levels were not fun, and I remember feeling so heavy physically, like heavy, emotionally and mentally exhausted, and not being able to, like, eat or anything, and not having help from anyone to, because, like, I think there's this here in Costa Rica, like, most people, they don't move out from their, like, parents' homes. It's very customary to stay within your parents' home until you're financially, independent, and or you're getting married and you're starting your own family, which is, separate, so you'll move out in that case. That's also a very common practice in Pakistan. So, that's not something that's weird to me. It's just that there is this idea that everybody lives like that. And for me to be somebody who lives alone, I have to do the cooking, I have to do the cleaning, I have to go get groceries, I have to go, do all of, like, my errands. So this, like, idea that everybody lives a stereotypical life of, oh, at home, like, even if they're so busy at home, they have their, like, mom to help them with laundry and cooking. Like, no, that's not true. Like, it's very difficult to be alone sometimes and to not have support. I do have support from, like, my boyfriend, who from time to time, helps me cook and clean, and has made my life a lot easier. But the parts where he can't help me, which were like the internship and, doing the actual work and the research, and I had problems with the research, like, all of that stuff he couldn't help me with more than, just being moral support, which I'm very grateful for him for. So all of that kind of, like, happened, and I've been putting off the podcast, and I feel like this is something that calls me, For some reason, my entire life, I've always felt like I need to do something more. I need to work on big projects. I want to be seen, but at the same time, I have this, like, fear of being perceived. And I feel like the only way to get out of that kind of mindset is to put yourself in situations where you have to be seen, you have to be perceived, you have to be recognized. And at the same time, like, again, I don't know, the idea of working in social media, content creator or whatever it is, has always called me since I was like 14. I've always wanted to do that, but at the same time, again, like I said, I'm so scared of being perceived. I don't want people that know me in real life to see what I'm doing only to be like, oh, that's so cringe. Why is she doing that? Like, does she think she's gonna be big? Oh, come on, please. Like, she's not gonna actually make it, Like, she should just quit now. That's what I feel like people are gonna say about me. And you might be like, oh, you shouldn't care about that. Don't care about that. Why do you care about that? And I'm like, I know I shouldn't, but I do. And it's really hard for me to get out of that mindset. Oftentimes, like I said earlier, like, I filmed this same episode, like, this is the 4th time I'm filming it, and each time I, like, get to filming it and I never edit it. And maybe that's like a form of self-sabotage. I don't really know. But I really want to do this. And the only one who's, like, being an obstacle in all of this is myself. And I beat myself up for it. And again, I feel like I have so much potential. People in my life have told me I have so much potential. So why do I not see that within myself? I don't know. And I wish I did sometimes. I wish I did see that potential. I wish I did see, like, the amazing person that people, like, tell me I am. Or, I don't know. I've been made to feel small my entire life. In high school, I grew up in an environment where I was not special because I didn't have good grades. I was not special because I didn't stand out academically. And so If I didn't have good grades, then I was a nobody. I didn't deserve opportunities. I didn't deserve to be talked to with respect. I didn't deserve like basic, I don't know, basic decency for not having good grades, for not being, for not being like a full-bred Pakistani. Because I was mixed, I would get a lot of discrimination from both, teachers and admin and students, and nobody defended me. It was me, myself, and I had to do all of that. I had to go through all of that. And so you grow up in an environment for 14 years, and I'm only 22. It's not been that long since I graduated high school. I graduated in 2019. It's not been that long. It's gonna be like what, 5-6 years, and all of a sudden I'm supposed to like get rid of all of that the negative experience. I don't know. Like, to me, kind of seems a little bit unfeasible that within 5 to 6 years I should like have healed all of my 14 years of trauma. And in like the back of my head, I don't know, like my anxiety is like, you should have already gotten over it. You should already be over all of this. Like, why are you so stupid? And I have to remind myself, like, no, like, it's okay. It's not linear, right? Sometimes I'm going to be really good at, putting myself out there, and other times I'm not going to be good at it. But what I really want to do is just stop, like, beating myself up over it. Stop being such a perfectionist. Stop, like, being like, oh, this video is trash. This thing that you made, trash. You're not an artist. You're not a creative. Why do you think like that? Like, what you need to do is just sit back, do a 9 to 5, and you're gonna be fine. When like doing that for the rest of my life does not sound at all like something that I want to do. Like, I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. I want more than that. And I know I am capable of doing all of like more than that. But I'm just putting myself back. Putting myself back, now that I think about it, that's not grammatically correct, but like I'm self-sabotaging, and I don't want to do that anymore. I'm looking for jobs because I graduated, like, well, I haven't graduated like officially. The ceremony's in a couple months, but the like my end of like my classes ended on April something, I don't remember. And since then I haven't had nothing to do, and I've been job hunting. It's been about a month, and I have nothing. No callbacks, no interviews, no emails, just rejection after rejection. And so it's been really difficult for me because it feels like, dang, like I prioritized my education, and now I don't have any experience according to these like big companies, and even small companies. Like, I don't have enough experience, and so it's like, oh, sorry bestie, you don't have any experience, so we can't give you no money. We can't give you a job because you don't have anything on your resume, which I think is kind of unfair because I speak 4 languages like fluently. I speak 4 languages. I have a lot of skills. I know a lot of things. So why is it that because I've only had like 3 jobs in my life means that I don't have experience? I don't know. So I'm like kind of leaning to the point where I'm thinking like maybe I won't be able to find anything in my field. And I'm a publicist. I studied publicity. So I'm looking for stuff in communications and publicity, and nothing. Marketing, nothing. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I could like apply to be a virtual assistant or an executive assistant or something like that. No, you can't. So like, what am I capable of doing? So it's like so difficult to get out of my head sometimes, because it's just like I'm trying to like get out of that headspace of like, no, I can't do these things. I'm capable of doing these things, only to receive like rejection letters of we're sorry. And it's not even like the basic decency of like a human being writing to you. It's a stupid like ChatGPT generated like text of like, we're really sorry that you like didn't qualify for our job, but like we wish you luck for your life and stuff. What? Why can't like an actual person like write to me and be like, oh, like like write me something that's real? give me something that's real. I don't want something that AI generated for me. I want you to tell me, like, look, you don't fit our criteria, and that's okay, good luck with you, and maybe you could like improve these things in your resume, and that might give you a better time. You might find something. Like, it stresses me out that, like, it's not even just a rejection letter, but it's not even like something that's real. It's just AI generated, and that pisses me off so fucking much. I can't stand that shit. But anyways, everybody has been like, don't worry about it, like, you'll be fine, these things happen, etc., etc., which, I mean, I guess. And everybody I've spoken about it with says, like, these things take time, and you just keep beefing up your resume and making it look pretty and all of that stuff, and you'll have better luck, which I have done. But I really need something to do, and on top of that, I really need money. I really want to help my parents out, because I'm very privileged and lucky enough that my parents can still help support me. But, like, I don't want to, like, burden my parents. I do want, like, I don't know, like, I really do want to help them out with that. I don't want to be a burden to them, even if they don't say I am. Like, I just want to help out. And so I think to myself, like, maybe I could have, like, a small business or something. And I have tried it before. And I've had friends of mine, like, for example, yesterday I had a couple friends over, and they were like, oh, you do crochet, like, maybe you could sell your crochet things. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but, like, it wouldn't really work out. And they were like, no, like, people actually buy that stuff. Like, you make really cool things, you could totally sell them. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, I have tried that, and I've had no luck. Maybe it's because I'm not consistent enough. And recently I found out that maybe my ADHD might be more like might be worse than what I thought it was. So that could be also affecting me, but I can't go get like any sort of treatment or like what's it called, or medication, because if I did, like, that would cost money that I don't have. So, like, everything is just interconnected, interlinked. Everything is laced together in this, like, circle. And, like, if I want to get to, like, a different part, I need to break the cycle, but I still can't break the cycle because there's just so many factors that are out of my control. And if they're out of my control, I can't do anything. And if I can't do anything, I just, like, dig myself deeper into a hole. And I don't even know why I'm telling you all of this. Like, all I'm doing is just rambling about. I'm just yapping. I'm just yapping about how I feel and everything that's going on. But at this point, like, I don't really know what else to do. And I'm going to put this on the internet, and people are going to watch this. And I don't know. I don't want people to, like, pity me or feel bad about it. Like, I don't know. I really don't know what to do. I think I'm going to leave this episode here. I don't want it to be too long either. Thank you for listening. If you did listen all the way to this point, I'm actually very grateful. Subscribe, like the video, check out my socials. I do a lot of artwork, and recently I've been trying to, like, draw more for, like, my sanity. And that's it, really. Like, I don't have anything more to say. If I like, talk more, I think I'm gonna, like, start crying. That's a joke, by the way. I'm not gonna cry, but I think I should just leave it here for now. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you're doing better than I am, and yeah, that's it for me rambling this week. Bye.